I wanted
Go
to
for it.
know what's the difference between the adult vaccinations and the pediatric versions?
Great question. Dr. Rolosa, why don't you, if you don't mind starting that, and Dr. Passi, if you want to add, sounds great.
Sure. As it stands now, we only have one vaccine or one company that we're able to do for the 5 to 11-year-olds and above, and that's the Pfizer vaccine. The Pfizer vaccine, in terms of its makeup, is the same for all ages. It is being given at a lesser dose, smaller dose
Mhm.
for the 5 to 11, and again, this is how the normal process goes when we are in the clinical trial phase. They test to see doses depending on the age and figure out, well, which dose is best, both in, again, in terms of being effective and safe. And for the 5 to 11-year-olds, the lesser dose was where they landed.
Great. So to answer that as well, to follow up with Dr. Losa, I always will say that when we think about children, right, children are not little adults. So that's
Right.
really important to consider as pharmaceutical companies, clinical trials, make sure that any type of intervention, treatment, medication, that we monitor the dosing and the side effects on children specifically, right? So what may be treatable at a certain dose for an adult may not, and usually is not for a child. So that's very, very important consideration. And that's why children were included in this trial. All I will add to that as well is, Kanisha, because you did ask about the booster. I know that question was coming out. So again, with Pfizer, and with Pfizer for the 5 to 11, that's what we're speaking on, is that children will get the first dose. And then as with the COVID vaccine, they will get that second dose, minimum 3 weeks. We recommend, at that 3 week interval up to 6 weeks to get that boost of immunity. So that is what will be the case. We'll have to see again, how children are responding, what the studies are showing, if there'll be a recommendation for a booster dose down the line as they did with adults. So again, as we're going into cold and flu season, there's still a season, especially that we're in school, right? I think it's actually optimal that the timing is now that the vaccine is available for 5 to 11-year-olds, because again, we want to keep them in school and keep them engaged as best as we can. And also with the holidays coming up, we know that people want to see their families, engage with their families. Again, this is an opportunity for small gatherings. For those who are vaccinated, that definitely allows that reassurance that you have that safety measure and that protection that you can interact with people as we once used to, and really still can if we're being safe and healthy in that way.